Welcome to live build number 3. In today's video, we're going to extract information from a Clubhouse page and add it directly to Airtable. So that next time you have an interesting event you want to save to Airtable, you click one button and it works. Today's video is going to be led by Artem, the founder and CTO of Bardeen, and the live builds are all about explaining how we build automations, how we troubleshoot the errors that come up if they do, and this is exactly what you're going to see on today's video. Artem built this automation for one of the users, but then we thought that, hey, there might be other people who want to see it, so let's check it out.
It's Artem again. I wanted to show you quickly how you can script directly to Airtable. So I went ahead and created a base called Clubhouse events, but before we go there, just want to show you how to integrate Airtable with Bardeen. So for that, we need to go to account, and then this is your API key that you will need to copy paste. So I'm now going to reveal and copy paste it and then regenerate it later, so it's okay. Normally you don't want to share this with anyone. And okay, so the first thing that I want to do here is to activate Airtable. And so I do this, it's going to ask me for exactly this API key that I just copied. Okay, now it's activated, and then we need to create a new scraper model and create a playbook with Airtable, and we're going to do it shortly. One thing that's like really important peculiarity about Airtable, as well as Notion, by the way, if you ever use it, is that it's like super strict on the schema. And so here, as you can see in this like Clubhouse events base, I have a table called Clubhouse events table, and then I have columns that I'm going to be creating a scraper with, and it's like really important that this column names correspond one-to-one with the scraper names that we're going to create, and even lowercase, uppercase matters here.
So the schema is super important. So mark his words because we're going to see it in just a few minutes.
So what I did, I just created this columns with types in Airtable, and it's so it's nothing special, you know. It's mostly like, so date, title, source are all single line fields, and then source link is a URL. Summary is a multi-line field, and event URL is also a URL. So I'm talking about the type of the field of, yeah, so see, this is URL, and this is single text, and this is multi-text or long text. Okay, so now that we have our table ready with like columns that we're going to want, next step that I'm going to do is to create a scraper. So here, there is nothing new. You already know this from the previous example with sheets. I create an individual scraper and then start picking up the fields. Now, the order in which you pick is not important, but it's really important to name them, like the name correspondence needs to be one-to-one. First, I pick this one. This is date with capital D. Next, it's going to be the title with a capital T, so you get the idea already. So this is I'm going to source, and this is also text. This one thing, it's a source link that you may or may not want to capture. So I capture it as a link, and I call it source link. Again, exactly the same as my Airtable columnist code. So then this is naturally summary, and then I also want to capture the overall event URL from the address bar, but I think it's the same as this one, but I'll capture it just in case. And this one, I'm going to scroll down here, and instead of this default name title, I'm going to call it event URL, so it goes under this column in Airtable. All right, so now, so now source link, I guess, okay, something happened. Let's double check it. So date, title, source link, event URL. Summary is missing for some reason, so I'll do it again. Summary, check. And for some reason it's not registering the name. Let me try again. Summary. Okay, much better. All right, now that I captured the summary, I'm going to click on the check mark here to create the scraper model. Next command is same command as, so this is the same command that we did for sheets, and now we're doing get data using scraper model. Last model, we run this, So it's going to show us the data, nothing new here. Now the last step that is different from Sheets, instead of appending this to Sheets, we're appending this to Airtable.
So a quick note for non-engineers out here, append is the engineering term for add. So we're adding a table to an existing Google Sheet.
The command here is append record and to Airtable from table. And now we select last table here. So this is what the previous command has returned us as a table. And then to Airtable, here we need to pick the table. And as I start typing the table name, which here is Clubhouse events table. So let's see, club. It's taking a bit because it needs to synchronize with the server, and sometimes it does take a while.
So at this point of time, it's taking us a little bit of time to pull up those Airtable tables, and Artem is going to run a few commands to speed up the process. I promise you, he is a phenomenal engineer, and he fixed that specific issue pretty much in a few hours after he recorded this video. So it was pretty interesting to watch.
Hold on. Clubhouse events. Let's try this again. Okay. And yeah, our Clubhouse events base is here. Let's delete this. We're not going to need this. Let's see if we can get Airtable tables. Actually, let's do this. Airtable tables from base, using base, and let's see if this will. Okay. So this has picked up, run this, okay, the table is there. Now let's try our previous command again to add the record. Actually append record to Airtable from table. This is our table and this should be the Airtable. Okay, now it's here. Great, yeah, we needed to do this little dance, so I'll investigate that and see why didn't it pick up from the very first go, but here we are. So let's run this. And let's see what happens.
So as you might have guessed, the schema is really important. So after this video, Artem actually made it case insensitive so that this error doesn't pop up again.
Okay, oh, see, it says unknown field name source link. Great. And this happened because actually, see, the link here is small case and here it's like capitalized. So that's my mistake. And so now, unfortunately, I either need to go and undo the scraper from scratch to fix this, which I don't want to do, or I can just change it here, say source link, save, and try to run the command again. Okay, now it worked. I promise I didn't script this, happened by mistake, and although like I told like 50 times, be careful, pay attention to capitalization, I kind of screwed it up myself, but okay, so now it worked. Okay, so now we want to save this to playbook, but because so what we need to do here, so see in my history here, I have two commands, one that returned an error and one that worked. So I'm going to clean this one up. So my playbook is going to have three commands: create a model, get data using model, append to Airtable. And so here, so I'm going to create a new playbook, call this Clubhouse events to Airtable. Let's pick a different color. Let's make this one pink. Save. All right, great. Now go here. See, it's right next to the playbook that I created yesterday. Let's try if it works. All right, it works. Now, as you can see, unlike yesterday, I didn't do parameterize when I was creating a playbook, so it will just by default add the events to the same table. If you want to pick different table every time, you can do it just like we did yesterday. So yeah, this is it. As you see, this was like a live demo, not super scripted. We had a few hiccups along the way, but it actually worked. So hope this is useful. Cheers.
And this is exactly how we build an automation that with one click captures information from a Clubhouse page and adds it to Airtable. If you want to try out using Bardeen and building your own no-code automations, make sure to check out the link below. It's bardeen.ai and download Bardeen yourself. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next video.